have to respond to that.
Do whatever you want, dude.
Well, he might have been going somewhere. He might have been going somewhere that was
I'll
related.
answer super quickly after intro. We just answer a really quick question.
What, dude? Go ahead.
So if you have a model and it can explain everything and predict like everything,
It
do you
doesn't
still have to
explain
prove
everything.
that?
You guys
No,
are
no,
built
I'm
on
just saying,
scientific theories.
I'm just saying, if it did, if you had a model that could
sure,
predict
but
things and could explain things, would you still have to prove that model?
well, yes, because I mean, correlation isn't causation, right? You can have a whole model built on scientific theories. That doesn't mean you understand how it's working.
And if someone comes up with another model that couldn't explain something, do you think it's better to trust the model that wasn't proven but can explain and predict things, or trust the model that can't explain things?
Yeah, that could be profoundly faulty what you're saying. So I'll give you an analogy. Let's say there's a corner of a big building, a big high-rise building, and the whole corner is broken off. Now, one person could say their theory is that it was Superman. So Superman came and he flew at this rate, and he knocked off the corner of the building. Somebody else could say, well, no, actually, some hooligans snuck in the building and they got up there and they broke the corner off themselves. They climbed up to the roof and they took hammers and they chiseled off the corner of the thing. So you have two different explanations. Now, even if the Superman one was really good, like the physics, all the math worked, everything worked, and you could quote unquote explain it really well with the Superman theory, but the hooligans coming in the building is a little harder. It's like, well, how did they get in? How did they do it? What kind of hammers did they use? Like, you may not have a full explanation yet. However, if the truth is that it wasn't Superman and it was kids breaking in, then you would have made an incredibly faulty leap to somehow just assume that the Superman explanation, because it seemed like a dazzling model, was the truth. So to discern the truth takes more than just looking at models and being mesmerized and jumping on things and thinking they're correct.
Yeah. So I said if one could explain everything and predict everything, and one couldn't predict things and didn't have an explanation for an observation, which one do you think would be better to trust?
You can trust whatever you want, dude, but the point is you don't have proof of a globe, which is what this room is asking for.
Nobody can hear you, Tanks.
Yeah, thanks, your hot mic. Trust is one thing.
Prediction.
Super broken for me.
People
right now.
I've said it on repeat like 4 or 5 times, man.
Dude, your mic's super broken.
Yeah, no, Tanks, give it a second. You were breaking up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to trust something, like you just want to kind of like pick a team, I guess that's a different story. If you're just wanting to pick teams and pick one.
Yes, I pick Team Globe.
Okay, but that's not necessarily accurate at getting to the truth. So we're talking about getting to the truth. If you choose to pick that, someone likes vanilla, someone likes chocolate, that's fine. We're talking about getting to the truth though, and isolating what the truth is. So what you choose in your subjective opinion is not really the topic. It's actually what the truth of the matter is, and getting to that.
Yeah, it's my subjective opinion that a globe explains two celestial poles.
This time,
nope. Still super robot.
No. If I am coming in this, if I'm not coming in.
You're okay now. Oh.
This is my last time. I'm roboting again?
A little bit.
You're good.
All right. I just wanted to point, because I feel like I pointed out a few times. Let me know if I'm robot and I'll just drop out for the night. But I tried to point it out a few times that the derivations, the beginnings of the globe are not predictions, right? So they just mapped out the sky. It doesn't make any predictions. It just mapped out the sky and then drew it onto the ground and said that the sky is the ground. It doesn't predict it. It just there's no predictive capabilities there.
You don't think there's any predictive capabilities of a globe?
Well, a cycle will repeat because it's been observed to repeat. I mean, is that really a prediction?
So how about if we, make a scale for distances between two places and then we drive to those two places? Would that be a good prediction?
No, it's not. It's just a measurement. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we predict the distance between two things.
After we drive the distance and measure?
No. Before we drive the distance.
I guess. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'll use a globe, and I will predict the distance between two things, and then
Known things or unknown things?
I want what?
Known things or unknown things?
Like two cities. Two
Known
cities, yeah.
cities? I mean, then they're
Yes, known
known already.
cities.
There's no prediction.
No, there is a prediction because globes have scales on them. So I will take the scale on my globe, and I will predict the distances between two cities, and then I want you to use a scale on your flat Earth model, and I want you to predict the distances between two cities.
Yeah, you don't predict the distance with this or the flat Earth or globe Earth model. It's just a measured distance, time over how much time it took you, what speed you went, or you can do it another way if you want. But there's no prediction. You already have the town.
Do you know
no
the
prediction.
distance between what's like New York and Madrid? Do you know that off like the top of your head?
Then it's not. No, well, whatever it is, it's not a prediction. I don't know why you're
So
even saying it's a prediction.
I'll use the globe to predict this distance, and then you use the flat Earth model to predict the distance, and then let's see which one of us gets it closer
Dude,
to
the
what's
distance
actually that.
dude, I got a rule. I have a ruler here. It's 12 inches. You use your prediction of how long my ruler is, and I'll use mine. Ready? And whoever wins with my definite 12-inch ruler, then the Earth is a shape. You ready?
No, I'm saying we use our respective models.
No, it's just a measure of distance. There's no prediction.
Yeah. So we use our
It's just a
respective
12-inch
models.
ruler.
We use our respective models to predict the distance between 2 points.
All right. Well, you have a belief. You believe that these things that people predicted the placement of the sun. It was just an angle measurement, elevation angle, and azimuth angle to the sun measured, and then plotted down, written down a chart.
So
It's
like
not prediction.
let's take two cities like New York and Madrid because neither of us know the distance between them off the top of our head. I'll use the globe to predict the distance, and then you use the flat Earth model to predict the distance.
No,
And let's see which one
I'm
of us
not going to
predicts.
do anything because you're just not understanding what a measurement is,
Okay.
and
I don't think you
you're
understand what a
imagining that
prediction
people are
is.
making predictions on how to get places. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
That's
using
what people do.
using a coordinate system is not a prediction. Like using a chart, like your XY chart, and writing down like known things like on the chart. That's not a prediction, right?
So do
It's
you
just
think people
you're
ever
just plotting out
use
a chart with a grid.
do you think people ever use like Google Maps to like try to get somewhere and see how much
Yeah, I
time it'll
promise
take?
you, that's not a prediction.
Okay.
I would trust an odometer on a car. I mean, as long as the tires are inflated, right? I mean, there's a give and take, margin of precision or whatever, but uh, for the most part, roundabout, I would trust an odometer. Now, the only issue is that there aren't any significant distances that you would need to drive for this scenario that are straight lines, unfortunately.
Are you talking about you could drive from like the bottom of Texas to the top of like Canada?
In a straight line. Yeah.
In a straight
I just
line?
want you to understand that I don't know why you don't think it's the case for whatever reason. You think that the globe predicted itself. It's just a measurement, right? Which is no big deal. It could be the case, right? That the Earth's a globe, but even no matter what, if the Earth's a globe, it didn't predict itself. It measured elevation angles, azimuths to the sky, and then plotted it on a chart, regardless if you
I
think
don't
it's
know
true
why
or
you need
not.
all of that. You could just use the stars. Stars are
That's what I
great
just
proof.
yeah, that's what I literally just said.
You don't need the distance to the stars.
No, there is no distance measurement to the stars. You
Yeah.
measure an angle, and you measure an angle to the sky, and then you
Why do you
plot it
need
on the
that?
ground.
You don't need that. You could just look up,
Okay.
see which way the
Okay.
stars spin, and then look on the other side of the Earth, see which way the stars spin.
Yeah, in reference to a polar projection or a conical projection of a sub solar point of the sun, as well as the North Pole, geographic or magnetic. It's just a map. It's not a prediction. That's okay, right? You're okay that nobody predicted New York City. They built it, right? You're aware of that, the place you wanted to test.
I said the distance between New York City and like Madrid. Or, like,
Yeah, it's a traveled known distance, right? Not a prediction.
yeah, but we could use our models to predict how long the distance is.
No, the distance is measured already.
Yeah. So we can use our models to see which one is closer to the actual distance that's known.
Are you going to use like an arc length? or something? What are you going to use?
You could use an arc length. We could do some geometry.
What are you going to?
One thing
you
that
tell me.
One thing that you also might be overlooking here is that the proportionality of the northern hemisphere on a flat Earth model, or the stereotypical ones versus the globe model are incredibly similar in proportions. It's in the southern
Chile.
hemisphere, the globe, that things
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
noticeably
true,
different when you're talking
true,
about examples of driving from one side of a continent to another.
true. So then we won't do that. What we'll do is we'll go from the south of Chile, and then we'll go to like somewhere
We're
in
going to drive to
Australia.
Africa. Yeah,
No,
we're
we can
going to
use a
drive to
plane.
Africa.
You can use a
Oh, I
plane.
thought you were talking about driving. I said I would
No, we
trust
can
an
use a plane.
odometer with properly inflated tires.
Do you think that it would be less possible to do that on a plane? Like, what? We could see how fast
Oh,
a plane goes, then see how much
there's
time it
that.
takes.
Yeah. You knew this conversation, but yeah, the plane thing is real tricky. You'll figure that out soon enough.
Like
Yeah, but you are
we
so
see a
then
massive ocean from.
okay.
Hmm?
I just want to know 2-0. Like,
Hmm.
are you going to concede to anything ever?
If you make a really good point, I will.
Yeah, that we didn't predict the sun. We just measured the placement of it to get time.
And I never said we predicted the sun. Why
Okay,
would I
so then we
concede on a
didn't
point I never
predict
made?
the placement of the stars. We just measured them.
Yeah, I don't even. We just looked at them and saw where they are. I
No,
didn't
you
make
can't
that
do
point that
anything
we
with that.
did.
You can't do anything with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Like when they use celestial navigation, like that's the navigation of the celestial stars. They
I
didn't
don't
just
even
look
know
at
why
them.
we need that. We don't even need that. We could just
Need
see
it
which
for
way they
what?
spin to see if the Earth is a sphere or flat.
Right. So yeah, but then you're gonna have to then use that, right? You're gonna say, well, this place that
No,
I'm at, right? When you went onto the map, you're like, oh, look, I can move it to this latitude, this longitude, this location. Those things, those locations, that grid that you keep on referencing that affirms that the Earth is a globe is made from the sky. Latitude and longitude, it's in the sky. You know that, right?
what grid have I referenced? I haven't even referenced longitude and latitude. I said you
You
could
did.
stand in the north. I said you could stand in somewhere in North America, like Canada, and then I said
How do
my
you know?
family
All right. How do you
trust
know you're in North America? Don't look at the sky. How do you even know you're in North America?
because I live in. I don't even know what to respond to that. Oh my
Right,
god!
exactly. That's right. So start from scratch, like you're a caveman, but you have your brain right now, but there's just caves, right? And you're not
Yeah.
allowed to look at the sky. How are you going to know you're in the northern, quote unquote, hemisphere?
All right, we don't even need to do that. I could literally just video my friend. Good thing we have phones these days, and we could both look up and we don't see the same stars, but both of our stars are spinning around a point.
Dude, if
I,
yeah, right. If I was,
I
listen,
don't even
if
I
I
don't
was
even need to
okay,
know that I live in North America.
bro, like I'm like not even like arguing the flat Earth. I'm just arguing. I'm just like, why is this globe friend of mine so dense right now? I don't understand. Why is
I
Toucan so dense?
Yeah, I don't even need to know that I live in North America because good thing we have phones these days, so we could just both like FaceTime each other and be like, "Hey, do you see the same stars as me?" He's like, "Nope." I'm like, "Cool. So let's record the stars we see, do a time lapse." And they're
Okay.
like, "Oh, whoa, my star goes around a point." And he's like,
So
"Whoa,
you
my stars
do,
go around a point too."
so you do need this the sky. The thing you said you don't need, you just need a phone, and then you looked at the sky again. You do need the sky to know where you are.
I said, "You don't." Well, I didn't say you need this guy. I said that's the best proof.
No, I mean just to know where you are on a map. Period. Amen. That's it. Like without a map, though, take the map away, right? But like you time traveled, right?
Yeah,
You
you
time
don't.
traveled from this time right now into the past, where nobody has maps, but you have the knowledge that you have of northern, southern hemispheres. Don't
Yeah.
look at the sky. How are you going to tell the world where everything is?
I mean, I wouldn't know where I am at the moment, but I could just walk to an ocean or something. Well, I probably would have walked to an ocean. Wait, do I get like? Can I speak the languages of the people around me?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Oh, then I would just ask for like geographical landmarks, things like that don't change. That's how I do that.
How would they know where they're at?
Do they not have maps?
He's like, I'll ask a guy who looks
Oh,
at the stars. It's like a
well
little
then
workaround,
there's
tricky.
your
It's a thought
answer.
experiment.
Just
Someone
get a
would
map
base their understanding where they're at based on a map they would have access to. w- Would be your answer to the other guy.
to do with a globe, though, right? Right? It's to prove
Maps
there's a
aren't
globe.
globes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't even need a map to prove a globe. Right? You don't even need to know where you are to prove a globe. All you need is the sky. It's not the only thing you need. Well, it is the only thing you need. I'm saying it's not the only way to do it. You can do it other ways.
But we're giving you a thought experiment, and you're taking it literally. You know.
I can't believe you just said that. What did it say
I
even
mean,
mean?
it would just be okay to accept that the globe that you live on is derived from the sky itself, right? Like you'd be like, listen, I know I live on a globe because it's self-affirming, because we have a map on the sky that we then use to tell us what time it is on the ground, and the map of the sky tells me where I am on the ground.
You don't need any of those things to prove
It's
that
not
you
even
have a
like this is
globe.
not even like a globe. It's not a globe debunker. I'm giving you. I'm just giving you
Yeah,
like the origins of
I
globe.
agree. None of the things you just said have to do with proving a globe. All you need to do is look at the sky.
That is the globe.
The sky is the globe, of course.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a prediction, right? It just shows a cyclical, repeatable cycle. There's no like, I bet you I'm going to get, rich today because
Really let
this,
him.
the earth spins or something.
Dude, are you guys really not going to help him at all here? Like, normally at least one of you other ones talk, but this is, like, really? Okay. Can you just,
I'm just saying,
You
if I
what?
grant you your globe, I just want you to understand that it comes from the sky, right? So then to say, well, because the sky does this, that means I live on a globe. If that's your only proof, it's in
I
the
didn't say it
sky.
was my only proof. I just said it's the best one.
Yeah, right. Well, I asked you to close your eyes and don't look at the sky and prove the ground. You saw this call guy who looks at the sky.
Here, you know what? What if I
I
told you
don't,
I had $1
wait, I
billion
don't get,
in a bank
wait,
account?
sorry, wait. Just to be clear, I had to prove the globe. I don't get maps. I don't get the sky. I don't get modern technology. So, you guys are really pushing it now.
I mean, it's possible to
I'm
measure
sure it is
curvature of a
possible.
surface. Yeah, it's definitely possible to measure the surface of something to be whatever it is without looking at the
Yeah,
sky.
yeah,
I mean, that's
I know.
possible.
Would we say if I look at a sunset that's happening and I look down at the ground, does that still count or no?
Well, I mean, you're giving an inference on why you interpret an event to be happening.
That's literally what the same thing as the stars is. That's what. Oh my God.
You okay?
So how many more hands do you want me to tie behind my back in order for this to work for you guys? I
I
don't
didn't
know
need
if
you
I
to
have
tie
many
anything.
more.
I just needed you to understand the thing that you're
But
reaffirming and that is happening in the sky. You're saying, well, this is the ground that I'm walking on is going down because I see the sun going down.
to be clear, you did. You asked me to not only time travel so I don't get a phone. You said I don't get a map. I don't get my eyes. So I already so saying
Bro, just
asking me to prove
relax.
the
You can
globe
have
without
you can
getting
have your
any of
eyes
these
back.
things.
Just relax, dude. We're talking about empiricism, being empirical.
Yes.
It's not really
Yeah.
that. It's not that big of a deal. What were you going to say, Riggs? What was your example?
I don't know, man. I've tried to get in a few times now.
You're saying if I
You're
told you I
up.
had $1 billion in my bank account is what you
Yeah,
got?
if I told you I had $1 billion in my bank account, but I don't have access to it. I can see it way over there in like a glass box, like way in the distance. But I can't actually touch it.
Explaining.
Is that good enough for you?
What
Like
phenomenon are
if
you explaining by saying
like what
I
if I
have
gave
a
you $1
million
billion?
dollars?
What if I gave you $1 billion, but I put
Yeah.
it in a glass box,
Yeah.
and no matter where you were on Earth, you couldn't actually touch it because it would move away from you.
How'd you give me $1 million then?
$1 billion.
How'd you give me $1 billion
But would
then
you
if I
say
can't have
that's
it?
what would be the best evidence that I gave it to you, other than I
You
just told
didn't
you?
give it to me.
Well, like no, I mean, I did give it to you. I gave you $1 billion,
Just said
but
I
it's in
can't
a
touch
glass
it.
box. Yeah, it's like a magnet,
How
like
would
if
I
you just
use
put the
it?
poles in such a way that it's always moving away from you as you try to approach it.
How would I use it if I can't get to it?
Well, isn't it evident that I gave it to you?
You give it to me if I can't use it.
I don't know why you guys.
I'm trying to help you to understand. Like, oh, what's up, Rob? I'm sorry. You sound like a garbage man that's coming by with a big sound.
You guys are funny, man. Yeah, well, this is
Wrong
fun.
with garbage men.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with garbage man, except it makes it sound. It goes, "Ee,"
Yeah, I forgot I'm not allowed to use that mic. I'm really
There
sorry.
you go. Thank you.
I was just saying, I don't know why you guys are still entertaining this TwoOcna guy after 2 days.
Oh no, it's okay.
We're having fun. We're having
It's for
fun.
his
We're having
benefit,
fun.
really.
Yeah,
You got to
true.
let them tire themselves out after we go over the same rudimentary arguments we've heard for years, but it's okay.
True. Yeah.
So did I give you $1 billion?
No,
Yes or no?
I can't use it.
But I said I gave it to you, and the glass box is right over there. You just can't
use
get to
it.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you didn't give me $1 billion.
No, I did give it to you. It's under your name. It's conceptually yours.
What is it?
I even gave you.
Bro,
I have
if
all
I
this
can-
documentation. You know what? Yeah, I
I
can
don't think
prove
he's
to
making
you.
the connection.
Is this I don't know if he is. Is this a connection like that you can't get to the sky to test it to do anything? Because,
Yeah, what he's doing is saying this is the best evidence, and there's literally no connection for verification or access to the thing he's claiming is the best evidence. I'd say it's
we can look up at the sky.
yeah, you can see the glass box. I put $1 billion in there. I promise.
Yeah, but your claim is you gave me $1 billion, not that there's $1 billion.
In the glass box. Yeah, I gave you $1 billion in the glass
No, you
box.
didn't.
You can see all the green notes inside of it.
Yeah, there's
It's
$1 billion.
see-through.
You just
Yeah.
didn't give it to me.
I did give it to you. It's in your possession. I put your name at the bottom of the paperwork.
You just said that it's not in my possession. You literally said you cannot possess it. If you try to touch it, it
Okay.
will teleport.
All right, I'm going to go back to the last thing I tried to mention, then I'm going to go outside
Okay.
for a minute.
I think that's
Okay,
fine.
so you do agree that like if the speed limit's 60 on a highway and everyone's going the same speed, most of the cars on the road, they probably have different engines and transmissions and gear sizes and wheel sizes and everything, right? But they're
Like,
all
literally
going
my-
60 miles an hour. You would
Yeah.
agree. Okay,
As far as they're going 60 miles an hour, they're going 60
just
miles
because
an hour. Yeah.
a model produces the same motion and the same speed or the same observation doesn't necessarily mean they have all the same components and that they operate the same way.
Do you think having a car engine as a model, what's supposed to be the model in this analogy?
They're literally called model cars. Different models of car. You ever filled out paperwork?
Not to buy a car.
Car model.
I know what a car model is. Yeah.
Yeah, car model. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. The point is that they produce the same results. Okay, they can produce the same results. They may
Yeah,
not
but
even
that-
all produce the same. You may prefer one car over another for different reasons, right? But all I'm saying is that just because they can produce a particular result doesn't mean that the model is what is actually taking place in the sky. You can produce different models, right? You can produce a model where everything came from nothing, or you can produce a model where everything is in reduction, and you have this time warping that's inverse to what they propose to us. Yeah, like it's all in the conception. Like you can represent anything in math and conceptually, but just because you can do so doesn't mean it is the case.
Do you think that a car is the same as an if-then statement being truthful?
I'm giving you an analogy, bro.
I don't
Dude,
understand what the model is in an analogy.
You thought a flat Earth model from Walter Bislin was the same thing as a globe. You should be okay with this.
That's why I gave it to him, because you're using what was essentially a straw man flat Earth model
I asked you guys if you're all
as
okay with
proof
it.
of globe, but you demonstrated it as globe. Very strange. So you essentially used my argument right there. So I just gave you the same argument back because I figured you'd understand it.
It's exactly what I did. I definitely didn't reference the sky at all and gave an exact example how I've done this in my real life.
Okay. Well, how did you verify that? The glass box is over there.
Okay, so I took a video, a time lapse of the stars. I live in the northern hemisphere. My friend was on a trip. He took a video, a time lapse of the stars in the southern hemisphere. if the Earth was a globe, the stars would have, well, they would spin around two different celestial poles, and they would spin in different directions. If
Okay.
then,
Okay, great. So how do you know it's a Mercedes or a Honda? What if it's a Toyota?
but it's a Toyota. There's no if then statement.
And how did you verify it? Did you actually go open the glass box and see if I gave it to you?
Yeah, he's for sure.
See the problem here, man? I hope you see the problem here. I'm going to step out. You guys have fun.
Dude, we need to have like a psych course on this. What the hell just happened? Did anyone else
It's just
understand
a
that?
course on logic, man. You might be a little rough on it.
Yeah, you said, how do you know it's a Toyota? What if it's like, you asked, how do you know it's a Ferrari? What if it's a Toyota? How do you know? Did you go see the glass box that I gave you? What logic is there to that? What's even the train of thought there? Oh my god.
I don't know, but like, I don't know, man. You're still okay with the Walter Bislin thing? It's strange to me. Usually, like somebody who's like, I know the Earth's a globe, they'll come in and they'll fight against that model that you use to prove the Earth is a globe. They'll say, no, this is not possible, because the light from the stars would have to be doing strange things in order to be perceived in the way that we perceive it.
Was perceived in that model?
Yeah, the way that it
Roboting again.
Well, the main argument I've heard is that thing
here's
actually
your,
uses globe
here's your
data.
revision.
Well, it actually does use
Fuck,
globe
yeah,
data.
well, that
in
was
real
it.
life.
Yeah, and the argument is that it's a transform, but that can be argued two ways.
So you use flat Earth data to make a globe?
Yeah, there is only globe data.
Oh, uh-oh. Is that a Freudian slip? That's a good point. Is that globe data?
Is what globe data?
You just said that model uses globe data, and I was like, yeah.
I'm saying people in your position would use that argument. I'm not saying I'm using that.
Oh,
I just said that we only have globe data.
Oh,
No,
true.
not what I said.
Okay.
But
Do
to
we
have,
have- do we-
to have a competing idea, we have to have two sets of data, but we only have one set of data.
True. I agree with that.
I think
Two
what Riggs
sets
was
of data.
trying
Oh,
to
you
example.
don't
Go
need-
ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say, again, with the correlation and causation, if two different theories are using the same empirical data, you don't need multiple sets of data. It's about the interpretation of the data.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So you'd interpret the data and match the model that, well, choose the model that best matches the data.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Well, until you show the convexity, right, of the ground, if you show me a flat model, then yeah, it can be argued both ways. He just argued Walter Bislin's model right there was a globe. There's no globe right there.
If we ignore all the other data, yes.
How do you argue that on a flat Earth? That's what I'm asking. How do you argue two celestial poles on a flat Earth?
The model you just showed us showed two poles on a flat Earth.
There literally isn't. I can show it again. There's literally only one central star at the top where all the stars spin around.
Go ahead and show it.
Sure.
Did you forget what we told you?
Did you forget what we
The
just
polar
talked about?
hemisphere is considered to be.
There's only one center place. There's only one center place. No matter
You're
what
showing me that
There's
right
only-
there is a
yeah.
flat Earth.
Yeah.
The smaller hemisphere inside is what
Yeah.
you would see from that position.
And again, even though there's still
Okay.
only one middle celestial, there's only one place, and all the stars spin around one place.
Is there one or two? I thought there was two.
Oh, so now there's two?
I'm saying you've been saying there's two.
Yeah. Do you think there's also two or no?
I wouldn't claim to know if that proves a globe or not, right? I need to see the globe.
So do you think
Did
there's
you
also two or no?
Did you forget what the smaller hemisphere is referred to as?
Okay, I think that's enough of that.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
The celestial sphere, is it? Or the azimuthal grid of vision, as I'm saying.
So can we explain the two celestial poles?
No, you can't.
I just
Wait,
did.
Hold on. So
You
okay,
didn't. You showed me a flat Earth looking at two poles.
yeah. So earlier I was eating, so I couldn't I couldn't really say or respond to anything. But I mean, was I missing something? I mean, the whole global argument is that there's only two celestial poles because there's a north and south pole, and so how could there possibly be two celestial poles if there's only a north pole in the flat Earth? But what TwoOcna did earlier when we were showing the
No, careful.
Bislin's model
Can't be-
was he took the observer to like the
Interrupting.
southernmost extreme latitude, and then he showed the stars going in one direction, and without actually moving the latitude of the observer away from the south and like closer to the north, all he did was simply switch the orientation of like the camera of the app itself and say, oh look, the stars are going in a different direction. Oh, well, welcome to flat Earth, because perspective has always been the flat Earth argument.
Perspective doesn't make things move in the opposite direction.
Wait.
Well, TwoOcna showed that on Bislin's model.
Let's see. Let's do it. Ready? We'll do it right now. I still got it open.
You already did it.
Okay, so we have this. We'll look at the bright little yellow sun here, right? Is that cool?
I did ask you to familiarize yourself with
we move-
anti-corpuscular rays. The
we
phenomena
move-
behind that.
We move and the sun just moves in one direction, and then I'm not moving the camera at all. We go to the south and look at the sun. It's right here, and look at that. It still moves in the same direction. Not how it works in reality.
Dude, you didn't talk about anything about the sun earlier. You showed us about what was like this motion of the
Stars,
stars within the. Dude, you showed us the motion of the stars and what you thought was a globe.
Sure.
Hilariously.
So here again, we'll just do this again. We can look at any star we want. We can look at the outer star, we can look at the inner stars. They all move in one direction, right? And then we're going to move them back to the southern hemisphere, right? And then let's move the time again. And they still only move in one direction. Not that doesn't work in reality. It's not how it works.
Oatmeal, why was it earlier that you showed us, like not from this like top-down point of view, but like more sort of like parallel to the ground? Yeah, you showed us that little smaller hemisphere there, stars going in one direction. You said it was going clockwise from one direction, and then you flipped the camera to the other side. And you said, oh look, they're going the other direction. Is that what you said? That's what you did.
I'll do it right now. Ready? We won't flip the camera at all. Ready? So we have both of the poles, right? And this is what it would be like on a globe because this is two hemispheres. So right here's the midpoint. This would be the equator. Then we have southern, northern, or northern and southern. I don't actually know which one it is. I'm showing you what it would be like on a globe. Ready? So no matter what I do, the globe is going to spin in one direction. Now if I look from one direction, they're going to go counterclockwise. And again, I haven't moved which way the globe's moving. If I look at the other direction, they're going to go clockwise. There you go.
Yeah, and you're showing that happening on a flat Earth, bro.
This hemisphere, you think that's flat?
The bottom, dude. The whole.
He still doesn't know what the smaller hemisphere is referred to as. He doesn't understand
That's
that.
literally what the globe would be. That's literally what it would be.
Oatmeal, stop. Oatmeal, is the entirety of what's represented of the Earth, is that flat or not on this model?
Or which part of it? This small
No,
hemisphere?
the whole freaking thing. Is that flat or no?
This whole thing is flat, yeah.
Okay, stop. Okay,
Yeah,
so
okay.
by your own admission, the entirety of the flat Earth being modeled here is flat. Good. Stop. Now, how do you go from admitting the entire thing is flat to now like picking a specific portion of flat Earth? How does what is like the whole thing being flat now all of a sudden become a globe just because you're standing on a part of the flat part of it?
Sphere right here. Do you know? Like, do you see that?
That's not a sphere. Do you know what a hemisphere is?
I already told you. I mean, I've said it a thousand times.
When I turned it this direction, do you think this, like, what do you think this would be if I took a globe and rotated it about 90 degrees? Do you think it just stops being like a globe? Like, what do you think happens to it?
You obviously think this flat Earth model somehow stops being flat if you just pick a small portion of it. That's what you're saying.
If you take the wireframe, do you know what a wireframe is?
No.
If we take this
Wireframe is a representation of the sky.
No, it's just a way to, like, it's a specific way of 3D modeling things.
It is.
So if we take this 3D model,
That's exactly what it is. We've been trying to tell you that.
Sure. I can just look at it.
that
Visual
mean we can
outline
look
of a
up
website app or another digital product. Oh, it's like for coding and stuff like that. But,
does that mean we can look up at the stars and gauge the?
yeah. So if
shape of the Earth?
you're looking from this, if you're here at this pole and you look up at the sky, you'll see the stars. You see all on the wireframe, they're going one direction. And then if you go on the other side, antipodal, and look at it from another direction, they're going in the opposite direction. Very simple.
What happens when you put the observer on Antarctica? How does anyone see the sun to the south of the observer in Antarctica? Put it right to the edge. How does anyone see the sun to the south of them on a flat Earth?
The sun
there'd have to be
in reality
has to be some sort of optical transform. Absolutely.
The sun wouldn't be up here. The sun would be down here. They actually add the sun. You see this, oh wait, do they not add this? I swear there's a better version of this. But the sun would be one of these stars on the wireframe.
Luckily, if there's one thing that optics are good at, it's being illusory.
True.
So, but just to be clear, the sun is also visible in Australia as well as south of the observer in Antarctica.
What?
The sun is also visible in Australia. At the same time, people are looking at the sun to the south of them in Antarctica.
Oh.
Yeah, we know that. But to be clear, you know that wireframe, the one with the stars in it? That's the sky, right?
Yeah, so the sun would actually, if you were to be consistent, you would add a little brighter star on the wireframe.
So the wireframe is...
But so we still haven't even tried to explain two celestial poles because the 3D reference, the flat one that Rebel was so excited about, does not have two poles on it.
Yeah, so there are two poles. How can that be?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Just
nobody said there wasn't two poles.
Yeah, how
lots of people said there were two poles. Yeah, lots of people said there
just showed us one.
Bro, I can open the thing again. I don't know why you guys have such an issue understanding this. I know you guys are trying.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to get you to answer the question. You understand that the wireframe that you're having us look at, the one with the stars in it, that is the sky. The stars are there, right? It's the sky.
Point to the two poles right now.
Yeah, where's
the not showing them?
I literally this wireframe of the globe. So point to the two poles.
One pole. That's one pole you're showing. You're not positioning the observer to see those poles. You have to.
So wait, hold on. If you go to, just to be clear, if we go to the equator, you can see both celestial poles. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying what you're showing us here. We're talking about this model here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you showed us both poles right there.
So then, is there three poles in the model? Because there's also one right up here.
Is the wireframe the sky or is it the ground?
It's the sky. That's where the stars are.
Okay, so quit calling that the Earth. You keep trying to equate the globe, right, to the sky being round right there. It's not the same thing.
The globe is this small wireframe, which has nothing to do with this upper thing up here, because this upper thing here doesn't exist.
It's not a globe, buddy. It's not a globe.
Okay, and this isn't a flat Earth either.
Yes, that is.
So we have three celestial poles. We have one here, and then one up there.
No, okay. You understand that small dome? You understand that small dome is the viewer's perspective of the larger dome above it.
So what causes
how that works?
Yeah, so what causes the light to bend and make a dome above someone's head? What gives us the personal dome?
That's how we see.
Yes, what gives us the personal dome?
Our delimiter of our vision, perspective. What do you mean?
So what
Dome. Make a dome above someone's head. What gives us the personal dome?
That's how we see.
Yes, what gives us the personal dome?
Okay.
Our delimiter of our vision, perspective. What do you mean?
So what perspective makes the sun visible in the south in Antarctica on that dome right there, that model right there?
That's a separate argument to him saying that this right here is showing a globe Earth. We're not claiming this model here. I'm telling him that the model he's looking at, that's clearly a flat plane with stars domed above it.
Two sets of stars domed above you. Understand these stars are the same thing, right?
They're the same stars. The smaller dome is just your perspective of the larger dome.
Yeah,
So if further south we go, then the stars would no longer circle overhead; they would just streak across the sky. If you move the dome, just now they're streaking across the sky instead of circling overhead, which is what they do in reality. It's in Antarctica and Australia and other places.
Yes, we
They
understand
spin around a central point.
I have a question.
They're still spinning around a central point. It's just your position to them has changed.
How much perspective is needed for the sun to look 180 degrees behind you? I'm sorry, how much refraction is needed in order for the sun to look like it's behind you?
Can we be clear?
The sun is a crack.
He still hasn't conceded that the wireframe is the sky.
Except that you look at the stars. The stars aren't there. The stars are not. If you look at the facing to the right now.
Right. Can I just ask real quick?
Are not there. That's not what we see.
All right. To get some clarification, can I just ask anybody in here right now? Is anybody asserting the AE map with the? You got to talk about the sun.
The worse it gets as far as visibility, as far as what we see in the sky.
Can you guys hear me, or just he can't hear me?
Guys, let Geo talk.
Red Cloud, can you not hear me?
No, they can't hear you.
Just talking over me purposely. All right.
No, sorry. Thank you.
You couldn't hear me?
You were breaking up for me, yeah.
All right. Well, is anybody in here like asserting an AE map with the sun circuiting around in 3 concentric circles? Is anybody arguing that in here?
No flat earther would do that.
Well, I'm just asking if anyone is, because it seems like if that's what the point that's trying to be asserted, but if nobody's asserting that, like B-Ball came in and is asking, so I'm just saying, is anybody asserting that? Because otherwise, it's just doesn't really link to a conversation if nobody's actually putting that forward.
Well, they're conflating, right? We're not arguing.
It's perfect, actually. So now we look at only one star, the sun, and we can see that it's given its globe position and it's given its flat Earth position at the same time. So we can go on any place and we can look at it, and we can see it would change, right? If we look on one place.
What do you mean globe and flat at the same time?
So this is a globe, and then this would be the flat Earth projection, right?
No,
so
dude, you got it totally wrong.
So are there two suns now?
No, there's okay, let me explain this to you. There's a flat plane, that's the Earth you're standing on. The big dome over you, the big one, okay, that's the sky, that's the stars. The smaller dome is how we would observe that bigger dome above us. That's it. It's the same stars.
So yeah, okay. So this is perfect. This is what the dude was asking. If you're in the South Pole, how much refraction does it take for the sun to be actually behind you to look like it's in front of you?
Again, that argument is under the assumption that we are claiming this model, which we are not.
Oh,
you're making two separate arguments. This is not a globe.
Okay, so I'm just saying, I'm taking your case. So the sun in actuality is behind you, right? How much refraction does it take in the model? It's actually back here, right? And then it's projected
in what you're showing me. I mean, if I'm facing the south, then that's behind you.
Yeah, exactly. If you're in the South Pole and you're facing south, right? The sun is in real space behind you, right?
Okay.
And how much refraction does it take to make it look like it's in front of you? Which is
I don't know, but I don't see how that's relevant to me.
Yeah, sure. So it's projected on your dome. You're looking south. You're looking at the sun. But in actuality,
projected on that dome. But again, we're not claiming this model.
No, this dome is what you said is projected to look. That's what it looks at. That's what you see.
I'm saying, in this model you're showing us, that small dome is just how you are observing the big dome.
Exactly. Okay. So how much?
We're not claiming this model.
Oh, okay. Do you have a model?
No, I don't.
Okay, got it.
You don't either.
Are you just gonna keep jumping points though instead of conceding anything? You're just gonna keep changing the goalpost?
There's no goalpost changing. You said you don't claim this model.
The initial point of streaming this was for you to show me that this is a globe, which it's clearly not.
No, the initial point was to show you how you can explain two celestial poles, and you can't because you don't have a model.
That wasn't the point. I asked you where
It
the globe
was.
was in this, and then you changed it to 2 poles, and then I said you had to be in the correct position to show the 2 poles.
No, the very first thing I said is the best evidence for people in Australia standing upside down or antipodal to you is the stars to celestial poles, and I brought up this 3D model. So you don't have an explanation for that, so you can't explain two celestial poles. You don't have
So
a
how
model.
much longer are we going to deal with Omnivore's little brother for?
First of all, no, that's it. If you guys don't have a model, that means you can't explain the stars.
Hey,
There you
yo,
go.
have you ever seen how like magnetic, what is it, like iron filings act in a magnetic, with 2 poles? You ever seen how like the sphere kind of creates like the magnetic field? It kind of follows the field.
It's not a
Yeah, can we
sphere. It's
address
like
what
two
Jeremy
separated
said
Well, it's not a
spheres.
first?
sphere, but
Yeah,
Can
it's
we
like two
address what
separated.
Jeremy said first? Everybody just ignored Jeremy.
Who's Jeremy?
I mean, if you guys are having fun, go for it. But this is tedious right here.
Well, yeah, I think the point Issa brought up though has to do with because the stars match how magnetic fields work on the ground. So, in terms of this whole thing, like how does it work? How does it work? It's like, well, we can replicate the way a magnetic field works on the ground. Seems to match the patterns, the motion of the way the sky moves. So, was that where you were going with that, Issa?
yeah, it's like a visual representation of, there's an example of like a flat example of 2 poles, which like could replicate, let's say, the movements of the sky, because the movements of the sky are really just like our arguments aren't necessarily against the observations of either side. It's against the cause.
Yeah, you
Because
guys don't
you have
have a
to,
cause. You
well,
admitted you don't
hold
have a
on.
model.
Well, actually, you're the one without a cause because you have a fictional cause, which you refer to as gravity.
Yeah.
Well, you refer to it. You refer to it as gravity, colloquially. However, really, the argumentation is against gravitation. Our argument's never been against gravity, right? So, like gravity,
What are
we
you?
just look at gravity. Well, hold on, let me finish. Gravity, like we just look at gravity as like weight. So outside of our argumentation against the globe has to do more so with gravitation, because gravitation to you is what you have to elaborate on, and you'd have to elaborate on figuring out things like 3-body problems, and there's that explanation which fails when put to the test. And so what we're looking to is alternative answers to explain things that the globe fails to.
Sure. So your alternative model for what we're standing on, you don't have that, right?
No, it's a microcosm. Like we have
Okay.
microcosms of evidence that
You
are
don't have
far
one.
superior. We hold on. We have microcosms of evidence that are far superior than what the globe offers.
So you don't have one unifying one though.
Um, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like like a cup of tea. You know what I mean? Would be like a unifying way to look at the earth. Like, a cup of tea, like, with a rim on the end that keeps the water in. And then maybe you got, like, maybe oatmeal with milk is better. Like, you know what I mean? But like that idea that
Okay.
there'd be land throughout, you know what I mean? Like that would be like our kind of interpretation of how the earth looks. And then like the sky, let's say you could look at the magnetic fields and like I was saying about the filings and how you have 2 poles that are actually antipodal to each other. But if you put that antipodal thing like above a teacup, let's say, then it wouldn't have to be due to curvature. Nobody would have to be, below anybody or antipodal or anything like that. So yeah, we have we have like kind of like you guys have to piece together and string a bunch of presumptions. You'd have to allow us a couple presumptions as well, and then permit me dark polarity to explain the optics.
Sure. You got all that, dude. Um. Okay.
Yeah,
So if you
what?
guys don't have if you don't have a model to explain
No,
the
no,
two
I think there
celestial
is
poles.
that is the model. That is the model, man.
Oh, you were
We
serious with like some like oatmeal in like a bowl with like iron nail filings above it to explain like the celestial sphere. You were being serious about that?
Well, do you have like examples of like let's say um like a gas ball floating through space with things around it? Like, do you have a microcosm of this at all?
I'm not even asking about that. I asked about one
Well, no,
thing,
I'm
and that's
asking
just
you about.
celestial sphere.
My point is, your model doesn't have the microcosms that we have.
Okay.
Your model, oh no, your model is strictly based on, like, take for instance just the idea. Follow along with me. Like the idea that gas pressure can't exist without a container, right? Now hold on, just I know you're gonna laugh it off,
Oh,
and just
come
because you
on.
think that. Hold on, I know that gravity explains it for you. Remember gravity, right? Gravitation. You have to work that through, and
Yeah.
there isn't much working through. Now, so the point is this: is that when it comes to that kind of thing, like we have microcosms, and you guys don't, and that's really what it comes down to. Like we could show you in front of your face like our idea and like
Yeah.
whatever you just all that you have that we is strictly speculation unless you're going to believe other third parties, right, like the government, that like if you're going to believe, because I mean like the observations of the stars doesn't confirm necessarily the shape of the earth, and that's what we're
Okay.
proposing. You're
Okay.
sold
So
on that, right?
you could wait. Just to be clear, you guys don't even explain the basic stuff. How are you gonna explain the more complex things? What?
Like what?
You can't even explain the two celestial poles that we can see.
Yeah, well, that's dark polarity.
Sunsets.
Yeah, it's dark polarity, dude. We're just using it as a placemaker right now.
Northern
You
Lights.
can't explain the basic stuff. Why would you ever act like you could explain the more complex things?
Did
I
you have a
just did.
reset in the last few days, Issa?
What's up?
Meteorites.
How you doing, Ruhif?
Good. Did you have a flurf reset?
Flurf reset. I've been Flurf. What do you mean, dog? I'm like the OG motherfucking sensitive, most snowflake fucking flat earther you ever met, my guy.
Right.
Come on.
We had a discussion about an explanation, right? And I said the rotation causes centrifugal force. Do you understand that rotation causes centrifugal force?
Do you understand that your lame excuse about measuring fucking gold doesn't cut it for me, dude?
Do you understand that rotation
You
causes
understand
centrifugal
that? No, no.
force?
I want you to fucking
It's
fully appreciate.
unimpressed.
I want you to fully appreciate how fucking unimpressed I am about your fucking position.
Yeah,
I'm telling
Ruhin,
And
we
you.
you're
don't.
really
Tell us how you
fucking
really
proof,
feel.
dude.
Issa, tell us how you
Ruhin,
really
we
feel.
want
Bro,
to talk about interesting, cool stuff. So we don't really want like just to come in and be like you don't understand over and over is really
you don't
boring. You
understand.
No,
have
I love
He
Ruhif.
didn't say he doesn't
Ruhif, no.
understand.
Yo, Ruhif can hit
do you
the
have
you don't
something
understand
interesting?
button. It's all
Yes, I
right.
want to ask
Sure,
whether
we
he
could do.
understands that rotation will cause centrifugal force.
Okay, but the topic of this live stream is not
Hold on.
does Issa understand something? So if you have a point, make a
He can't
point.
imagine any of you
Okay, I'll
understand.
make
Hold
my
on.
point.
No. I think, how about this? Let me address this, Joe. Yes, I understand it, and it has
Okay.
nothing to do with the Earth.
Okay, we don't understand how
I
dark
understand the
polarity.
principle. I just think you're fucking reaching. And if you're gonna ask me to fucking accept that, you better bow down to dark polarity when I fucking interject it. All right.
Okay, so my point is that you understand that rotation causes centrifugal force. We don't understand how dark polarity causes whatever you think it causes. Can you
Well, we're
explain that?
working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah, you've
We
been
can't.
working on it for a bit.
It's a placeholder, dude. Relax.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Centrifugal force
You
isn't.
can't explain the simple things. How are you
Shut
gonna
up.
explain the
Man.
more
You new here,
complicated
bro.
ones?
What's your little attitude? Yeah. Fucking I'm just saying, like, dude, we have microcosms. And that's the difference, man. Like, we have, like, you guys be over here, like, look at a fucking raindrop. Like, all right, nigga. But, like, that's not a fucking solar system or anything else implied. You're just looking at, like, we're looking at the, what do they call it? The chematic fucking whatever the stars are doing. We're not,
No,
we're
no.
not necessarily, like, we're just saying that this is what it looks like, but we're not sure. Like, I'm fascinated with the whole idea of the, like, I've been talking about probably too much, is just the idea of like the stars. Like, you ever see like those art exhibits with like everything hanging from the ceiling, and from one perspective you can see like a Marilyn Monroe or a JFK picture, but it's only from one perspective. You know what I mean? But
That's
all these things are hanging down from the fucking ceiling, and it's like garbage and trash and fucking GI Joe
Yeah,
figures. But at
that
one angle, it
works
looks like
because
that's a cinematic.
yeah, yeah.
That's
And
a
I'm saying
cinematic
like
equivalence.
that all
that's what I'm saying.
that
Like, I'm just saying that is more that in the that kind of concept and the fucking stars is more realistic to me than what you propose.
wait, that's a perfect point. That kind of art only works because when you move on a flat surface, things change shape.
Right, and that's why when you
That
move
doesn't
over to like the
happen.
southern
That
pole,
doesn't happen with our stars.
it may be perceived to be different, even though what you're thinking, because you're trying to map the stars to the Earth, right? And here's the thing, right? The globe, like, dude, believe me, I love the globe. It's great, but the
I
point
hope
is
so. You
that,
live on it.
well, not really, and I
You
mean,
don't really live
I
on the
beg to
globe.
differ. I beg to differ. Anyway,
Okay.
like, my point being is that, like, there's from a different vantage point, you could be seeing a different perspective within that, like, let's say, installation, because it's such a
Yeah.
so
All
like the
people
installation,
on the
like,
Earth see
so
the
what
same
I'm trying to
moon.
say is that, no, but this is an alternative to what you're proposing. Like, I don't necessarily look to the stars to map out the heavens. Do you know who Albert Pike is? I've said it a couple times. I've been here. I didn't
Wait,
say it too
just to be
much,
clear,
maybe.
that's a perfect disproof of the flat Earth. That
Well,
works because when you move on a flat plane, things change shape.
well, yeah,
All people on the Earth see the same moon. If it was
right. And
like your art
imagine, hold
exhibit,
on,
if it was
imagine
like
an
your
art
art
exhibit.
exhibit, I
Yeah,
thought I
okay.
was gonna finish. If it's like your art exhibit, then the moon would change shape as you move across the flat Earth.
Not
You just gave the
necessarily.
best
Not
disproof of a
necessarily.
flat
No, no,
Earth.
no. Hold on. You see, you're making a presupposition. Because what I'm saying is, what if actually, as you moved and
You
the art
just said.
installation, listen, dude, listen, bro. At every different stage of the installation, you saw a different portion of a picture. Now, what I mean is that you're trying to use the stars to map to totally, like, explain away the Earth, which is acceptable. Like, you know what I mean? I get why it's done that way. It's an interesting perspective. It just seems like there's a fucking paradox, and that paradox seems way more interesting to me than what the globe offers.
Wait,
Do you
no,
know what I mean?
you
Like, so,
just
like, the
no, you
stars
just solved
may
it.
very well not comport with the Earth, as you think.
No, no, you just perfectly solved it. If you're on a flat surface and you look at something above you, it's going to change shape as you move below it. We look up, and all people, no matter where they are, see the same thing. So we can't be
Yeah,
living
but do
on
you
a
know
flat
about? Yeah,
surface.
but like, do you understand celestial navigation at all, dude? Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, as you move on the Earth, right? The position of the stars, like, they adjust to your position on the Earth.
Yeah,
Now,
but
if
the
in
shape
my
of the moon
world,
doesn't change.
if in my world, like, the stars are, let's say, moving around us, right? And, like, let's say you're actually just observing this. Like, when you move further down, like, you can tell because those stars are, like, it doesn't necessitate that the stars are still, is what I mean. Like, it necessitates, like, uniformity in their rotation potentially. You know what I mean? But, like, I'm just
But
saying,
it
and
has.
it's easier for me to see it as, like, it would be easier to move light across a sky than it would be to move the Earth in a circle,
Okay,
spinning the Earth.
can we do this really
I don't know.
basically, step by step? When you're in an art exhibit, is the floor flat?
Yeah.
Okay, if you look up at something above you and you walk around on that floor, the shape of the thing above you is going to change, right?
Not necessarily. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, if you're locked into the, let's say, art piece, right? And if it, like, let's say, like, instead of one art piece where you just, like, those kind of things, where, like, from one perspective you only see one picture. Imagine if it's just so wild that even as you move, there's more pictures.
Yeah,
There's more of the picture going on. So,
exactly.
like, at every
But
stage, there's, like, a different interpretation of the installation. You know?
exactly, because when you move on a flat surface, things hanging above you change shape. That's exactly why that works.
I mean, I don't know about
He's
change
saying the
shape.
concept, not the literal art exhibit. They wouldn't work the same way. He doesn't
That's
claim.
Only
literally
one
how it works.
only one thing would not change shape as you
Which is the
see it
thing
from
directly above you. Yeah.
yeah, only one object shape would not change as you view it from different sides and different angles and whatever else.
Yeah, but who's to say, like, what would limit the potential of the exhibit, seeing as it's
Nothing that
so
limits
grand?
it. I just
Right?
said if you're on a flat surface and things are hanging above you, as you move around the room, things change shape. If you move around
He's
on the
not.
Earth, the moon doesn't change shape. The Earth doesn't have a flat surface.
Right. So if you look up at the sky, you'll see
Let
the
them respond.
stars.
Let them respond to
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Well, it's not much. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, man. Like, you know, I'm just trying to
You
get across to you, like, an alternative like,
wait,
because nothing changes shape. Like, if you're trying to, like, debunk flat Earth because you're gonna
you
think that the
debunked it.
installation,
You
not
like the art
really,
He's
exhibit. You debunked it.
trying to
If you're
bring
not
concept. He's
really.
not saying it's a
No.
one-to-one with an art
Isa,
exhibit.
thank you for debunking the flat earth. Now I'm a glober, bro.
Dude,
Oh my god.
it's
Well,
exactly
Glover's, it's like, yeah,
bro.
it's like
It's exactly a
Let me start.
1-to-1. It's literally how it works. If you're
Well,
on a
no, you're
flat,
still thinking. Well, like it's imagine like you have a kind of installation like that where
yeah,
at every position you would move, right? Those
yes,
things up on the installation would present to you a different perspective, right? And I don't
yes,
mean to you like I don't mean like just because of the way that they are. I'm saying, do you know, like from the installation, when you look at it
yeah,
from one perspective, let's say it's
yes,
Marilyn Monroe. It's
yes,
Marilyn Monroe, right?
yep,
So if when you move away from that, all of a sudden that illusion is broken.
yes, because the
But
things
now,
change shape.
okay, hold on. So now what I'm trying to
Well,
say is that imagine if as you moved, instead of Marilyn Monroe, it was now JFK. And then as you
Yes,
moved a little bit further, it was Martin Luther King. And then as you
yes,
moved a little further, you know what I mean? So like
yes,
all
Well,
I'm trying to say
listen,
is that if you were
his
in the
argument
southern
doesn't
pole,
help.
yeah. So
His
the
argument doesn't help him
yeah,
to
so the
Oatmeal.
art
It
I'm
doesn't
trying to
exactly.
get
help
you
you,
to
Oatmeal.
understand that though.
Actually, it
Yeah,
goes against you,
yeah.
Oatmeal,
So
because
the
let's say if you standing in the north, if you're standing in the north, the star is above you. Once you start moving down south, what happened to the North Star? It starts coming down. Oh my God, the sky is changing shape.
no, what are you
Does it
talking about?
not? What are you
No,
talking? What do you mean? What I'm talking about?
You
the
not
Does
know
the
moon.
that?
sun, the
Hold
North
on.
Star does not go down?
No. The moon
Oh, it doesn't
to
go down
all
towards the horizon once you
the
go
moon,
further south.
the moon to all people at the
Hold on. I
same
got the
time.
question, Elbow. I
No,
got the
no, no.
question, Elbow.
The
Hey, brother, I
moon.
want you to answer me this question right now, dude.
Wait, hold on. I didn't.
Hold on,
Wait.
real quick. How do you measure latitude, brother? How do you
You
measure
don't even
latitude?
need to for this. You
Hold
gave
on,
the
no, I
perfect
just no, in
example.
a totally separate fucking line of questioning.
I
Tell
know.
me,
I don't want to finish with the last
how do you
one.
use hold on, let me ask you a question. How do you use Polaris to find your latitude?
You don't need it. Okay,
I'm not
so
talking about we don't need it. I'm talking about if you I want to know if you even understand this basic fucking concept, dude. Do you
no, yeah,
understand?
I agree.
Explain it to me. Explain to me how we use Polaris to find our latitude.
Just like I said, you don't need to. We have phones. It's great. We have modern technology. Okay, so now if you're on an art exhibit and the ground is flat,
No,
the
dude.
reason that
You're really not winning anyone over with this one. You need to be
it's
able to
your
answer this
argument.
question in order to even remotely understand what I'm talking about.
No, you don't. So,
No, bro. Yo, dude,
dude,
your ignorance is not funny, dude. Like what I'm trying to
okay,
tell
I
you is like in order.
agree.
Yeah,
Listen,
Issa,
dude.
this conversation has zero good faith going on in it with this guy. This is
yeah.
fucking horrible.
Yo, I want
Yeah,
to hear.
that
If you can't,
doesn't
how
even know
about this?
about.
No. I'm gonna make an offer. Hold on, let me make an offer. You got to tell us how you find latitude using Polaris, or else
What?
it's agreed that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Why would that even be the case? Why don't we just
All right,
talk about the
you
art
I think
agree
exhibit
you
and
you're
don't
then
know
we
not
what
can?
the fuck you're
answering
talking
it.
about. No,
Issa,
I
you
just
know
want
what
to
it
know.
says?
Those are the terms, bro. If you can't explain this to me right now, then we're all just going to agree, and you're going to have to accept it and agree with us that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So
Fine.
explain it to me.
So, sure. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. So if we're in an art exhibit and the floor is flat, the reason the pictures look different is because the objects are changing shape.
Well, I
That's
don't
why it
know
looks
why
like
you think you're
Marilyn
funny right
Monroe.
now, Doug. I don't know why that California. You're there. Where are you from? California, right? Because you sound brain dead. Are you from California? Though you sound
Well,
like a
hold
fucking
up. Look,
brain dead, fucking like hippie surfer wannabe cool dude right now. Are you like
Oh my
17 or what? You
god.
think you're cool or what? You
Let's
surfing,
relax.
banging out
Let's
bitches? Like
relax.
if you're not,
Smokers
you're
will
a
get
fucking
timed
loser,
out
dude.
for less. Timed out, banned, muted for less.
I mean, if you can't fucking say, if you're gonna come in here talking shit and you don't understand how Polaris is used to find latitude, then
Dude, the dude doesn't even know about light attenuation, dude. When we were trying to talk about the sun, you can't say that.
I don't even know about light attenuation though, really.
True. Okay, so if we're in an
Do you
art
really don't know
exhibit,
about light attenuation?
No, I'm only kidding. I'm just
I'm
saying,
freaking, how about to say, bro? Like,
okay.
there's no freaking way, man.
so